Today, I want us to talk about the importance of taking up space. Why high achieving daughters need visibility, not just visible. Why majority of us feel uncomfortable being seen or the fear of being seen in general. Where does it stem from? And how is this actually impacting most of us? Personally, I spend most of my life trying to earn my seat at the table. But currently, as someone in the corporate space, I'm learning that sometimes it's really important to also pull your chair. Because if you don't take that initiative to tell people the value that you're bringing to the table, then what ends up becoming is again being the invisible, the contributor, the exhausted one, the resentful one, because you've done so much to contribute to the growth of your team, of the project, of the family, of every single thing, but without getting any recognition for it. So I want us to really talk about why it is important. We should take up space. It's something that I'm learning. Unlearning all the programming that I had when I was young. The patting on the back that we used to get a lot when we were young, that the quiet one was praised and the loud one were always shunned in our community. But this is so wrong because while now you grow up and really learn that why daughters learn to stay small. And also, like, visibility is not vanity. The cost of staying hidden, what taking up space looks like for me right now. And then I'll leave you with a question to go start thinking about how you should start taking up space for yourself and start building and breaking all those programming that you were put into. So the first point, why daughters learn to stay small. When you have been programmed from early on that you have to be the responsible one, you have to be the caretaker. It means that every single thing that you do is being scrutinized. You are being micromanaged in a way that any moment you make a mistake, anytime you behave in a way that is not expected by the family, it means that you will be criticized for that. And so what that teaches you too early on is that there's no room for making mistakes. So you are taught to be the right example. What that means, regardless of your achievement, you should not brag because bragging is bad. You should be humble. Being humble means do the work, but do not acknowledge it or don't speak loudly about it to other people. You're taught to let your work speak for itself. And then you're also taught not to be too loud or not being too ambitious, because being too ambitious and too loud about your contributions or your achievement, it means that you are being selfish and you're prioritizing your own personal needs before everyone else. But one thing that I'm really learning so much at work or in corporate environment in America is that if you do not speak for yourself and for the work that you are doing, it means that you will be overlooked most of the time. If you do not have people to speak for you in the rooms that you are not in, then it's almost vanity asking for that. Because if there are no people that are going to speak for your work or for yourself and how much you have done, then it's almost you are talking to like an empty room. So that's one of the most important why when we are taught or programmed early on to be the humble one or to be the quiet one, this is a lesson that we need to unlearn so much, because without unlearning those, it will really put you in a position where you cannot get things that you want, or you cannot even be bold enough to be audacious for that. And then visibility is not vanity, really. I think this is something that not just culturally where I'm from, but it's something that majority of women we experience. Most of us, we are the emotional regulators, be it in our households or even in at workplaces. We are the one that manages how the mood is, because there's always that lens of women are emotional. And so if you're going to do anything, you should ensure that you don't come off too bold. You don't come up too assertive, because being too assertive in itself already put you at a disadvantage. But visibility in itself, what it means is that you have to share your work. Were you the one that came up with the solution, how to solve that problem that your team was experiencing? Make sure that you are getting that credit for your work. Also, speaking up in meeting is something that is very uncomfortable, because if you are taught early on not to always speak your mind, what it means is that when it comes to work meetings, speaking up, it makes you uncomfortable. Sharing your ideas, even if they are the greatest idea, it makes you feel awful about yourself. But it's very important, because without sharing what you are thinking, then the contribution itself may have been what takes you to the next level, or what takes your team to the next level, or your, maybe depending your institution. So speaking up and sharing your ideas, which I know majority of us have such great ideas, it's really important. And then you also learn to be audacious. And this is something that I'm also learning. Most of us, when it comes to looking for those opportunities, we want to ensure every single line item on our resumes meet every single thing. But a lot of opportunities that have come to me have just been that, believing that I could do it and just applying without meeting every single line item or requirement that was posted. And then the posting of your ideas online, the fear of being seen or building in public itself, it's very uncomfortable. How do you really navigate this when you are a private person? A lot of people are reserved, and you don't want to share so much about yourself, because you want people to be able to earn that title. You want them to be able to earn the respect of knowing who you are. And so navigating that of just putting your ideas out, that is maybe writing on Substack, posting on TikTok, or building generally in public, to be seen that you are doing things that you are passionate about, it's one of the most important ingredients that you need to learn and be comfortable with taking up space. I'm a very private person and reserved. Only few people in my circle know so much about who I am. And so the struggle of even doing this podcast or even posting online, it's something that I fight every single day, because I am very uncomfortable doing that. But if I'm to move from my next level and to really appreciate and start taking those constructive feedback that I've gotten, it means that I first have to be very comfortable taking up space, learning how to share my ideas without the fear of being seen or fear of being perceived, because perception in itself is a human skill. And regardless of whether you are sharing an idea or you are just walking on the street, people will already have an idea of who you are. So, is it that significant for you to care so much about what others are saying instead of building what you want? That is something that you need to sit down with yourself and really learn about that. The other significant thing is really building on personal brand. A lot of us, we have our own personal brand. And it's up to you how you want to show up. Some people, they already have, you, let's say for instance, you can ask your friends and ask them, when I show up, what is the first instinct that comes to your mind? Who am I? So without even being very intentional about building your own personal brand and about who you are as a person, people already have an idea of who you are. You already have the way you show up. That in itself, it's your own personal brand. But if you are going to build a future that you want for yourself, be it the person that is curating the lifestyle that they want, the person that is building the career that they want, the person that is setting those strong boundaries to be able to thrive on their own terms. This is something that you have to build intentionally and choosing to be comfortable with doing so, be it online, in person, or even in your sleep. Do whatever that will make you comfortable. And then asking for opportunities. Many times I've asked when I thought that I'm going to get a no, I got a yes. And it's a very valuable lesson that I learned so much, because Again, this is where the importance of having mentors that are going to help you to get to this next level are very important. I think early on, I was moving from a different state to New York City, and I had talked with a lot of people about, I've been with my team for maybe 3 years or so. And I was navigating how am I going to ask for salary adjustment? Because again, a lot of how much you get paid is dependent on the location. But a lot of people, because of the fear of asking and being told no, I got a lot of different ideas. And my mentor gave me a book to just learn about it. It's a book that I actually really liked. It's called Knowing Your Value. And it's by, let me actually pull it to show you guys. I think I read it every single time because it has really good takeaway. It's written by Mika. She's a best-selling author of All Things at Once. And she's a journalist on, I think, Morning Joe. It's a program I haven't watched. It's very familiar among the Americans. This is the book. It's called Knowing Your Value. Women, money, and getting what you are worth. Because majority of us, we are very uncomfortable with taking up space. She shares her own personal experience where she's been their correspondent and contributing a lot of the news. But because she feared that if she were going to ask for more money for the work that she was doing, her boss may have a wrong view of her. And what ended up happening is a lot of people that were coming, they were audacious enough to ask for more money. And so by the time she realized that she was getting so underpaid, and to catch up meant that regardless of whether she liked it or not, she was going to still have to hold that uncomfortable conversation. So why wait until, when you don't have any other alternative but to have this conversation, but instead, why not just doing it right away? So the bottom line of this is really on asking for opportunities that you want in a work environment. And if you are in a space where you are thinking of you're already on a way to build your wealth, that means that for every single work that you are doing, it has to be relative to how much you are getting paid. And that means the higher your salary is, that means the higher you can start investing on early on and continuously building the wealth that you want for yourself. And so it's really important for us to know that visibility in itself and also talking about things that we have accomplished, it does not mean that you are bragging or showing up or even thinking you are better than others. People that feel that way, I always say it's not like none of your business in a way, but people that think that way, they have to learn uncomfortable truth about themselves. So when you talk about things that you have done and things that you have contributed, it's really important to do it in a way that you're very confident and comfortable about that. And this will really help you to continue finding your own voice and also defining what taking up space and what that mean for yourself. And if you don't do that, what are like the costs of staying hidden? The cost of not showing the potential that you have as the individual or as a person. So the cost of staying hidden, I'll just read them out, is the missed promotions, missed opportunities, stay in smaller network, there's lower earning potential, and then delayed dreams. Mispromotion itself, again, it's dependent. Are you somebody that want to build something for yourself? Do you want to build your own business? So if you have a business idea, but you don't know how to start building this, or you're not comfortable sharing that idea to people within your network, it means that it's going to stay in your mind, and no one in the world is going to know what a great idea you had. It will also lead to missed opportunities. Do not underestimate the power of a network. If you do not speak about the things that you are interested in or the ideas that you have, people around you are never going to know. And maybe in your environment, somebody may have been looking for a project partner, may have known somebody that was hiring. So the importance of this is if you do not start taking up space and communicating things that you are interested in, you will miss those opportunities. It also means you are only going to stay in that small level of networks. Network in itself, it's built by people you know that know other people, and the level of having this web of connectors help on establishing those opportunities, because to being seen means that you are getting that exposure, and exposure itself means it's a way for you to get opportunities you want. We have a saying in Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. It's one of the books that really drove this point home for me. Because if you do not see something, you can never even imagine for yourself. And I always tied to this saying in Swahili, kutembea kwingi ndiko kuona mengi. What that means is traveling is seeing. So getting exposed means that you are getting closer to the dream or business opportunity you are looking for. So for Trevor Noah himself, he was brought up in a low income area in South Africa. Because his mom, Patricia, wanted him to be exposed to bigger things, he used to take her to the better neighborhoods in South Africa. And this really helped him to be able to see that his circumstances were not just tied around the environment that he was in. And a lot of us, when we were younger, what we knew were the calm walls. And so what that meant at that moment was that school was greatly preached to us that you have to really commit to your education, get good grades. And once you have good grades, it meant that it will be easy to get opportunities that you want. And really talking so much about the possibility of what you can accomplish after you've worked hard and you've been able to get that level of grades. It really helped accelerate us closer to the dreams we wanted. And the last part of this cost of staying hidden is really the delayed of dreams. An example that I always give you have all is when you are graduating high school or when you finish college. But if you do not put yourself in the proximity of opportunities, that is going to networking events, doing career conversations, then it's really hard to even know where you are going to apply to. So exposure therapy in itself is really important, because once you are comfortable taking up space and talking confidently about the things you desire or the life you want, it will move you closer to that. It's a lot of unlearning that we need to do because of how we were conditioned while growing up. It's really important to start stating specifically things that we are excited about or things that we want to accomplish for ourselves. This platform is able to help us get a window into the lives of ambitious women that have built the lives that they want. Have they been able to overcome all the challenges and to be able to reach to where they are? And if you're somebody that grew up thinking that choosing yourself or doing things for yourself is selfish, I want you all to know that it's really important to take up space and do things for yourself. This is an advice that I take personally. I'm growing doing that. But it's something that will give you a lot of opportunities and things that you want in this life. Because life will not come knocking at the door. So the moment you put something out there, then you let the universe work and do its things. So I want to leave you with this today. If you're a daughter who has spent years proving yourself through hard work, I want to remind you that hard work is only part of the equation. Your ideas matter, your story matters, and the world cannot benefit from gifts it never gets to see. It was lovely covering this topic of why taking up space is important, why it's important to start building lives that we want for ourselves and not fall into the category of high achieving daughters that only work hard but do not create the visibility that they deserve. And if you have comments, questions, please leave them below. Until next time.